Knicks family, what's poppin'? Is your boy. And once again, I am out of the studio, but we still getting it done. You know what I'm saying? We still getting it done here at MBK. Tonight, we are going to preview the New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics in Boston. The rematch. And this time, the lineups look a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. The last time the Knicks played the Celtics, they were in New York at the home opener. And the Knicks had a plethora of different guards, right? You had Elfrid Payton starting at the point guard spot. Dennis Smith Jr. was backing him up. Obviously, for tonight's or tomorrow's game, Dennis Smith Jr. is not available. Elfrid Payton's not available. So you got your boy Frank Ntilikina, the only true point guard, if you want to say true point guard. I'm sure there's a lot of people that'll question whether or not that's true, but the only true point guard. But leave it to Fizdale and the overcoaching that he likes to do, and people can agree or disagree with me. That's fine with me. I feel like he's overcoaching his team right now. Once again, he's going to start Wayne Ellington and RJ Barrett in the backcourt. Listen, I understand the entire argument about not the foul trouble argument, but I understand the argument about having a point guard to come off the bench. I get it. Right? But I really do feel like you are holding back RJ Barrett by starting him at the point guard spot instead of letting him play his natural position, at least at this point in his career, right? And play and do what he's going to do best. I really do feel like it's holding him back. I don't feel like it's the best for him. And it's small sample size, but obviously the last game, RJ Barrett didn't have one of his best games. And he was due to not have a good game. It was due. He'd been having really good games. So he was due. Is it because he started at point guard? I don't know. I'm not going to say that they are not connected. I think they could be connected. But anyway, David Fizdale is going to start RJ Barrett and Wayne Ellington in the backcourt once again. And of course, we're likely going to have Marcus Morris and Julius Randle starting together. And I think that's a mistake. I think both of those mistakes are mistakes. And I think there needs to be a serious change to this starting lineup. Serious change to the starting lineup. There's too much one-on-one, too much isolation, not enough ball movement or man movement. What can you say? You know what I'm saying? What can you say? And if you hear an echo, you hear the echo because of the room that I'm in. So you probably hear a lot of reverb, because, it's got high ceilings and all that kind of stuff. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? We're still doing what we do. You know what I mean? But that's the story coming out of camp today. I don't like it. I don't want to see RJ Barrett running that point guard spot. I'm not saying that he can't do it and he can't learn to do it. But I want to see RJ Barrett at his natural position with Frank Ntilikina at the point guard spot at this point in time. I feel like Fizdale is simply overcoaching the team. You know what I mean? Just overcoaching the team. Sometimes you just got to do what's simple. That's it. You don't have to overcoach. You just got to do what's simple. And this is one of those times where you just got to do what's simple. That's about it. We'll see how. I will say this. I did think that there was some better ball movement in the beginning of that game, against the Orlando Magic. Better ball movement in the first half. It stalled in the second half due to hero ball and isolation play. You know what I'm saying? It stalled. We'll see if we'll see if we learn from it. We're playing a better defense, right? No, I'm sorry. We're not playing a better defense. We're playing another good defense. The Boston Celtics are, I think, 7th or 9th in the league in defensive rating right now. All right. The Orlando Magic was ranked number 2. Now, I think their ranking had a little bit more to do with the pace of play. You know, but I'm not happy with this R.J. Barrett and Wayne Ellington in the backcourt. You know what I'm saying? I got Guillermo in the chat. I want to check and make sure that Guillermo can hear me. Guillermo, can you hear me? All right, good. And I can hear you as well. I got a different setup here. You know what I'm saying? So, what'd you say? Yeah. So against the Celtics. Oh, hold up. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, there you go. Now they can hear you now. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
My bad, guys. Yo, yeah, it's trash, man. Fizdale is officially he's a coach without a plan. He has no idea what he's doing. At best, he's following politics. You know, again, when Frank is out there, you're running two guys, and as much as I like RJ in the PG position, that's mostly if we had a superlative shooting guard or a system where the ball's moving around, I will understand. But this is a team that you're gonna have to grind it out every game to have a chance. And we've already given up 3-4 games or whatever our record is that we could have won, or you know, we could have done something if we had a defensive presence. I'm sorry, but you win and you end the game with defense. You need to have Frank in that lineup, not just because of the defense, but also he can move the ball around. Now, don't get me wrong, I like RJ, but again, like I said, Fizzo's gonna burn RJ out because he's infatuated with a guy that he drafts and then he can get production from. He's gonna burn this kid RJ out. Why not have a so-called veteran in Frank who can at least push the ball around, has that point guard mindset, and at the very least will give you the defense to offset, if not shut down, offset or nullify a Kemba Walker who got hot in the fourth quarter or in the second half against us, or the other kid, the one for Purdue, the one with the dreads, or Marcus Smart who hit I don't know how many threes in the first quarter against us, first quarter, second quarter against us. I'm tired of. I'm not on a fire bandwagon yet, but I'm starting to get tired of Fizdo, man. He talks, but he has no idea what the hell. He's a used car salesman. I don't know what he learned with Pat Riley. It doesn't seem like he learned much. I don't know what he learned when he was with Spoelstra, even though I mean obviously it's Pat Riley, Spoelstra, all under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
I don't understand like Sim. Why wouldn't you start Frank? And the thing that gets me mad, and the thing that I'm so disgusted with, right now, I know that DSJ lost his stepmom, but I think he found out about it after the game, correct? So when he had him in that game that we went to, you saw he didn't do good in the first half. Fine. Everybody was saying, hey, put Frank in because it's the logical thing. DSJ is struggling, right? He puts this guy in again. And yet when it comes to Frank, who's shown you at least when he's in there, except for the Spurs game, he gives you defense that can at least keep your team at the very least level with another team that's offensive minded. He doesn't want to play this kid. And then now he has a Trier thing going on, and we don't know where he is. So this starting lineup of Ellington, don't get me wrong, if you're trying to get points, that's one thing. But if you're trying to get points, then why don't you sit Morris? Because Morris, for some reason, thinks he's Kobe, and he's shooting out of his butt. And for some reason, he wants to play where he's playing for his contract now, instead of being this defensive leader who can give you the shots here and there and whatnot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Fizzo, like when this guy talks, I just get annoyed with it because I know it's all BS, man. For you to not start Frank again to at least set the tone defensively, which you needed in that first game of Marcus Smart hit 3-4 threes on us, it's annoying, bro. This is why and last time I know you got to go to other stuff. This is why I get pissed with basketball coaches, man. It's like when the thing that happens with walk-ons and guys who are the so-called chosen ones on the team. My cousin Rena Zinge went to LIU, didn't play high school ball. He went to LIU, and he did not get any burn, and he would kill whenever he got in. You go ask, there's a guy named Jamal. his name is Jamal Williams. He works with St. Francis. He was like, yo, and you could go to the banner, go to St. Francis. His name is on the banner, Jamal Williams, I think it is. And he would tell, yo, and I played my cousin, intramural here and there. And he was like, yo, bro, your cousin was nice. It was like everyone was like, it was a travesty this kid didn't play because he was a walk-on. He was beating other kids who were given scholarships. But because he didn't have a scholarship, he didn't play. And I all said in my mind, this guy could have at the very least been on a summer league team.
Yeah.
This is what happens, man. People lose faith. People's careers shatter or it falls apart because these stupid coaches who have these politics don't want to actually win with what they have. They want to go and win through politics or satisfy contracts and stuff. And this is what I'm seeing with this guy, man. For you to put DSJ when he was struggling, but it's a struggle for you to put Frank in, even though we won one of those games because of Frank's defense. It's just mind-boggling, man. Screw Fizdale, man.
Viv, maybe you can make some sense of it for us, man. Can you make some sense of it for us, Viv? Make some sense for me, bro.
Listen, Sim, I can't rationalize the lineup. It has problems. It's beyond the point guard problem too. Like the point guard issue, it is one issue of an overall problem with the roster as it is. I think that just Morris and Randall together is just not. It's not a good pairing. It can be situational pairing, but it's not a good pairing to start off the games, start off the quarters, start off the halves, whatever it is. I don't like that pairing. It seems to kind of neutralize Mitch a bit, and as a reason we've seen Mitch's minutes get cut. And Wayne Ellington, the problem with Wayne is that in order for if he's not hitting a shot, he's useless, right? And guys like Wayne Ellington, they are very, when they're hot, they're hot, and when they're not, then they're completely useless. So, really, what the Magic game boiled down to is that none of them hit shots. None of the more important guys hit shots, and when they didn't hit shots, we basically just couldn't score, and that was the reason that we sunk as it is. Now, for the lineup itself, right? Look, I think they got to go 10. It's just they have to go 10. It's the real question is, if you're gonna bring in Zoe, I guess who do you sit? And I guess what you do is if you realize that Wayne is not making anything, maybe you just bring Zoe in. But does Zoe have that mentality? Is he able to deal with that inconsistency? Is the real question. And what I mean inconsistency, I mean is is he a type of person that can easily warm up when if he's sitting on the bench for 2 straight games and then all of a sudden comes in for a third? That's not an easy thing to ask for. So, I see it. I mean, I don't know what to. I'm baffled too. But I don't know if there's really an easy right now with the point guard depth as it is. I mean, Frank played 30 minutes. In Orlando. I mean, I don't know what more we can honestly ask for. I mean, 30 minutes is still a good amount of minutes. How much more?
Yes. 30 minutes is a good amount of minutes, right? And I do understand that. And he played the game, but I think, at least for me, what I want to see, one, I just don't understand. Look, when he first did it, I understood it, and I was like, okay, let's see what it looks like. It was okay, but I wasn't impressed. I felt that it dwarfed the production of RJ Barrett, right? So I'm like, I think we need to have somebody else as the distributor, facilitator, and let RJ Barrett do what he does. I think that's best to start the game. And also, I think that Frank Ntilikina can help set the tone defensively to begin the game. Those first 5-6 minutes of the game help set the tone defensively, especially, you got a guard that is going to be electric like Kemba Walker, right? Wayne Ellington's not going to stop him. RJ Barrett maybe could do a decent job on him, but we know Frank, and I'm not basing anything on FIBA. I could care less about FIBA right now. We just know that Frank can play defense. We just know he can play defense. And he can defend
he'll give
guards.
you a better effort than anybody else, right? So, he'll give you the best effort at the point guard position. It's that's a fact. Now, I guess the real question here is this, right? his RJ as a point guard, is there any rationale or justification to give RJ any point guard minutes? Like, does he, should he get more than, 10, 15 minutes as your point guard? I mean, clearly it's not working, I guess, in either capacity, right? I mean, RJ should just really be the two, right?
Yeah, right. I think in the situation that we're in right now with the lack of point guards, somebody has to play that
Yeah.
spot. I guess you could go Trier if you wanted to, but Trier doesn't do that naturally either. You know what I'm saying?
Which makes you stuck, right? Because you're kind of, and there's no, obviously Kadeem Allen's not healthy, so you're almost like there's really just one point guard and RJ Barrett, right? So you're almost in it's a lose. It's a no-win paradigm. So I don't know where you can start Frank and then
see, I
try
think
to stagger the minutes maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. I think you start Frank. So you got RJ and Frank starting in the backcourt. And then, when you begin to make substitutions, you don't take either, you never have a lineup in without one of those two on the floor. At this point in time with what we have going on. You never have a lineup in without one of those two guys on the floor. That's the way I see it right now, based on everything that's happening.
Well, right now, as it is that either Frank or RJ or RJ are on the floor together.
Exactly.
But what you're trying to say, which makes more sense, is have them start together, set a tone, and then take Frank out earlier, right, or take RJ out earlier, and then play either one of those two with the second unit, when either or sitting, right?
Exactly.
And then bring them back in, I guess, together sometime within the last, I guess, half of a quarter.
Right. So for example, you can have Frank and RJ are starting together in the backcourt, right? At 6 minutes, you take Frank out, and let's just say you bring in Wayne Ellington or Trier or Dotson, whatever it is you do. Right? Now, we're just talking about the guard spots, but not talking about the other stuff, right? And then RJ's in, for another 3 minutes or so. You let Frank get a breather for about 3 minutes. And then you bring Frank in for RJ so that RJ can get a breather, right? And you let Frank play until, maybe 9 minutes into the second quarter. And then you bring RJ in for Frank. RJ plays, 3 minutes. And then, when you get to 5-6 minutes, you bring Frank back in, and you have both of them to finish off the half. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can stagger them so that you always got one of those guys on the floor.
Yeah, I'm trying to analogize it right now. I know teams do it all the time. I'm trying to think of the best example. I almost think of like Philly does it all the time. They used to stagger all their guys. So I guess they take out Embiid really early. Then you come back in for part of the end of the first quarter. And then, he'd get back, he'd be taken out in 10 or 9 or 8 minutes left in the second quarter. And then maybe come back around 3 minutes. Maybe you do something like that. And then that really sort of solves your guard problem, right?
Yeah.
Because they're in together, they're in to set the tone. And then once they set the tone, they can let somebody else sustain the tone. But I mean, I think that's a good solution, like you just mentioned.
Yeah,
now, the real question now is the forwards, right? So clearly, the Morris and Randall's pairing, once you put them together, it's a mess, right? They both hog the ball too much. The ball gets stuck with both of them together, and it's just ugly, right? It's very stagnated offense. So, I mean, ideally, you just want to flip Morris out and put in Knox. Or I don't know, put in anybody else, because I think Morris, you have to separate that duo. Just have to.
Yeah, you got to separate them. You really got to separate those two, because it's getting bad. The back and forth. Them two, them two guys taking shots. And Morris, I'll say this: Morris, I feel, holds the ball a little bit longer than Randall.
Right.
Randall and Morris, and Randall passes more than Morris does as well. Morris is barely passing the basketball. He's looking for his shot. And, I was so excited for Morris to be here. But now I'm kind of like, man, I don't like what he's doing. And I don't know if he's changing his game to try to prove that he can be a primetime player or if this is just who he is. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. There's nothing primetime about his performance his first 5 games. I can tell you that. You know, these are 35% from the floor. I mean, it's like basically bad everywhere. You know, there's nothing really worth bragging about for Morris's game, to be quite honest. But yeah, you're right. Morris hogs the ball more than Randall does. The problem is when Randall holds the ball too much, he often gets like tangled up in the paint, and then
Yeah.
he just turns the ball over way too much for a big, and that's his problem.
Yeah. And let me get to Nate. See if Nate has a solution or if Nate's figured it out. You know, maybe Nate understands David Fizdale right now. Go ahead, Nate. Do you give us something, man?
So I think there's some things we need to clear up real quick regarding this point guard situation.
Okay.
First off, RJ Barrett is not a point guard. I think that Fizdale is playing NBA 2K and trying to use his special toy to try to do everything. And RJ Barrett's not a point guard. He is a 2 at the most, and he could be a 3 in certain situations. Play him at his position. Ntilikina does need to start this game because of DSJ and Elfrid Payton being hurt, because he is the purest point guard, and he is the point guard that could probably get everybody involved. Now, the thing that surprises me is if Fizdale's talking about like, okay, we want to play Ntilikina on the bench because he's our only other point guard we have, why not bring up Kadeem Allen? You know, why not call him up?
I think Kadeem is still. I think he's still hurting.
Oh, he's still hurting? Okay, because that one just baffles me. Like, you have him on a 2-way deal. Right now, you're hurting at the point guard position. Now, I'm not saying Kadeem Allen's going to be anything special, but he's a veteran. He's older. He could run the offense as a backup and let Ntilikina start. Because the truth is, right now, we don't know when DSJ is coming back. And Elfrid Payton's groin injury, that's a nagging thing. So we don't know when he's going to be back.
Hamstring injury.
Hamstring, I'm sorry, even worse, hamstring. You know, but the thing is, and here's what I would do with the starting lineup, Sim. I would take Morris and put him on the bench and start Knox. Because here's the thing. Knox has been the most aggressive player outside of Barrett this season. Like, he is really taking it to the cup. He's shooting a good clip for the 3. I mean, this guy's confidence is really starting to gain. And honestly, I'm tired of seeing this game being on the perimeter. We've got to score inside. We've got to get buckets. I mean, we don't get to the free throw line. We don't really have any inside game. Everything's all perimeter. So what happens? You live by the jump shot.
I think we do get to the line. We just don't make them.
Well, we don't make it either.
We don't make them. We're shooting 67% or something like that from the line. We're not making them. You know.
But here's the thing, Sam. If you compare them to other teams, where do we rank as far as free throws attempted? We're probably around the bottom.
Well, let's see if I can look up that stat right now. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see if I can look up that stat. There's some interesting things that that we got to pay attention to this game, and a lot of it revolves around turnovers, man. We really got to protect the ball in this game. The Celtics are number 1 in points off turnovers right now. You know what I'm saying? And if we turn over this basketball like we have been, we're gonna give them a field day.
Did you watch how the Celtics shut down Giannis and pissed him off?
Shut down who?
Giannis in the game in the fourth quarter. I mean, he couldn't. He kept getting offensive charges. He was getting frustrated. I mean, he looked like a shell of himself because the Celtics just threw every body at him possible.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find free throws. I don't see free throw attempts. I'll look it up. I'll see if I can find it. I want to get to this little bit of a breakdown. If you guys can get to it, I'm gonna come to Viv. Maybe he has it. I'm gonna come to Viv real quick, and then. We'll try to get to. I'm gonna get to this breakdown of some stats. All right, Viv.
Yeah, I'm on it right now. So we take 26. We have 26.4 free throw attempts a game, which would be 4th in the league right now.
Okay.
The problem is we only hit, like you said, 67%, which is basically second to last in the league.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're getting to the line, but what good is it if you can't make
If
your
you're not
free
gonna
throws?
make them, exactly. What good is it?
Our problem is RJ is the biggest culprit. He's 40% of the field. He takes the most free throws.
And he shoots
Randall's
what?
5 a
What's he
game.
shooting? 45, 46%?
He's shooting 41%.
41%. Woo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
Randall goes to the line 5 times. He's shot 60%. And then like out of the other guys, the only other guy is Trier. Trier's shooting less than 70%. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. And listen, that's
add up.
hurting us, especially the way we give up double-digit leads. We've given up a double-digit lead in just about every game we've played so far this season. We've given up a double-digit lead. We've been able to fight back, but we've given up those leads, man.
Right now, I mean, like you said, the free throws. We actually are not the worst team in assists, which is kind of funny out of it all. But I mean, we're near the bottom 5 in turnovers given up, which is
Right.
which is basically 19 a game, which is terrible. I don't know how you can win games, doing that. But obviously, it all connects to each other, right? We average the same number of assists, the same number of turnovers. We're shooting less than 43% from the field. And most of it actually, honestly, is we're shooting 35% from 3. We're taking a decent amount of threes, but we're shooting 46% from 2.
Yeah.
So we gotta clean up a lot. I know Randall part of it. That's a big culprit. Morris is a big culprit. But everyone's numbers, they all add up, right, to this terrible numbers.
Yeah. Let me get to Guillermo.
You can you hear me, Tim?
Yep.
You made a good point, right? Or a point that if we're always trying to fight to come back, wouldn't it make sense to start your team off with defense?
Yeah.
I'm just so perplexed. Like, it's not people here are saying. Some people here are saying Frank, he's not a point guard. Fair enough, but we're gonna have to work with what we got.
Yeah.
It's like the potato famine in Ireland. It's like, all right, they had a famine because they didn't have potatoes, but it's like you guys got fish. You guys got other things you can make. You don't have to starve, right? Why do we have to suffer because we don't have the prototypical point guard that Fizdale wants? And I'm sorry, Fizdale's offense, and it's not just me, right? I sort of saw, and I forgot what Instagram account it was, but they said we got to stop with this ISO ball. ISO ball does not work. It only works for one team, the Rockets. That's because they have James Harden, and his usage rate is astronomical. That's like if you have one player on the team, you give him probably 50% of the ball 50% of the time, and you basically just have supporting cast around him to basically hide his weaknesses and make him more effective, right? We don't have that. Fizzo, forget even the offense. Whatever. You want to run that stupid handoff elementary school offense? Go ahead. If we're always having to fight to come back into the game, why not start your first half close and then take Frank out for the third, whatever, and then bring him back for the fourth to make sure your defense is still intact? You could shut down their best players. Other teams, I've seen other teams do it that didn't have premier point guards or premier players where they've basically worked off of defense to try to stay in the games. Why is it? And then this is the thing that gets me mad. We played against the Magic, right? The Magic had the lowest field goal percentage, right? And people say, "Oh, we play good defense, blah blah," right? And I'm thinking about this. Did we actually play good defense if we lost to a team that had the lowest field goal percentage in the game? Does that, what I mean? I understand they only scored 93 points or whatever, but if they had the lowest field goal percentage, right? And I'm just thinking about these things because it's like I'm trying to find a reason as to why Frank isn't playing. And if you want easy buckets, the best way to get them is through what? Steals,
get stops, get steals.
So when Frank gets the ball, or whoever gets the ball, because RJ is also is showing that he's a good defender, especially when you have to play that pick and roll defense. And mind you, Sim, the Celtics don't have a really good front court anymore. They don't have Horford anymore, and they don't have a big body in Baines anymore. So what are they going to be doing? They're going to, like they did when we went to that game on Saturday, they were living by the perimeter.
Mhm.
That's great for Frank. Frank doesn't have to run into a tower where he has to try to fight to get around that, and maybe Randall's too lazy, doesn't want to commit himself. You can literally just play on the perimeter and defend that way, Sim. Like there's no reason as to why Frank isn't starting. If you could try to destroy whatever the Celtics game plan is, which I don't think they have as good as a game plan anymore as it did maybe say last year when they had Horford and even Kyrie Irving, and even the year before that. If they're living basically through Kemba, who's a shoot first point guard who has to get hot, who doesn't have the greatest efficiency numbers, disrupt his game, and you throw probably 40% of their game out of whack. Why is it so hard? It only goes back to politics, and this is what gets me pissed, man.
And,
You have this talent on your team,
yeah.
and you don't want to use it, man.
Well, let me say this, and this is very telling. This is kind of non-Knicks
I
right
wanna
now.
curse so badly.
You know, just for a second, this is non-Knicks, and looking at the Celtics and their offense, and the Brooklyn Nets and their offense. Kenny Atkinson, he said right now they have no structure on offense. They're not playing with any kind of structure. And do you know why that is? You guys know why that is? There's one reason why that is. And the Nets, the Celtics play with a little bit more structure than probably the Nets.
Kyrie?
Exactly. There is one thread between the two.
Sim, can I just wanted to bring that up. Can I just say one thing about this? What did I say when we were talking about the Kyrie Irving? I said that what Atkinson had with that team with D'Lo, with Dinwiddie, with LeVert, there was an offensive system around it, and those guys love playing around each other. Now, did they need more parts to get to the next round? Yes. But you had a foundation there. Things were working. I said this. Kyrie Irving is in his Kobe mode. Remember when Shaq left, Kobe went into this mode where it was all about me, nothing else. I got to score 30, 40 points, and we're going to win either through me or we're not going to do nothing at all.
Right.
That's the same thing. So thank God they got Kyrie. He scored 50 points in a loss. Perfect. Now he's having mood swings. Knicks fans, the only thing I agree with Scott Perry and Fizzo right now is that we didn't go after that guy and KD, who needs to talk like he's on a freaking talk show every day, man. Thank God we didn't get those two, because Kyrie Irving, head case. KD, head case.
I hear you, man. I hear you. I just want to throw that out there, take a little jab at the Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of these numbers, then we'll get back to talking, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a favor. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. And if you're watching on Sportscaster, follow me on Sportscaster. Share this out. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that. You guys can see I'm not in the studio right now. I'm out on travel once again. So I'm in a hotel. But we're doing this anyway. I got about 24, 25 minutes left, because at 11:35, I got to prepare for I got a training to do tomorrow. I got a little bit more to do to prepare for it. So I got to get off a little bit earlier than usual. All right. But we're going to go ahead and talk this stuff anyway. I want to get to the breakdown and really look at, take a look at some of the numbers behind this game coming up tomorrow night. The Knicks clearly are going to be looking for revenge. Hopefully they're motivated. Now, they don't have the same number of bodies that they had against the Celtics on opening night, but it shouldn't matter much. I mean, it's going to matter, but I think we have enough if we can play good basketball. Can we play good basketball against the Celtics? We'll see. Listen, it's a tough situation with the Knicks. You can look at it in two different ways. You can look at it and say, you know what? We've had a fourth quarter lead. We've played 5 games. We're 1-4. You can look and say we've had a fourth quarter lead. In 4 of those games, we couldn't finish the deal. You can look at it and say that's a good thing. That's a positive, because we're doing it without a competent point guard. We're doing it without a point guard that can actually organize. I guess Frank can organize the team, but do more just organize, can organize and create. And I'm not saying anything negative about Frank. I'm just saying, what we need to actually get these guys going. We're doing it without that right now. Well, we're not doing it without it. We've been in the game, in every game without that right now. You know what I'm saying? If one of these guys can emerge, and I think in order for one of these guys to emerge, we need some consistency. Fizdale is going to have to choose someone to say, I'm rocking with you, and let it be consistent. And maybe Elfrid Payton is the guy that he's doing that with, but Elfrid Payton got hurt. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. But, we've been competitive. We can't close. We don't have a closer. That's been the difference between us, and that was the difference between us and Brooklyn. We didn't have a closer. Same thing with San Antonio, right? We didn't have a closer. We didn't have someone who can finish the deal. So we can look at it that way. Or we can look at it and say, damn, it's going to be like this the entire season. We're not going to be able to close games. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at this, right? The projected starting lineups for tomorrow. Once again, the Knicks are going to go with R.J. Barrett, Wayne Ellington, Marcus Morris, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. Right? That's the projected starting lineup. Injuries for the Knicks. Dennis Smith Jr. There's a death in the family. He's with his family. All right. Condolences to him and our prayers, thoughts going out to him and his family. Elfrid Payton. He has a sore right hamstring. Hamstrings can be tricky. We don't know when he might be back. He's out. Reggie Bullock. We already knew he was going to be out. Neck problem plus a death in the family. And, I really do feel for Reggie Bullock, though. You guys look at the backstory. He lost a sister about 5 years ago in Baltimore. Now he lost another sister to gun violence in Baltimore. I think there were like 9 people shot. And his sister was one of them. So, it's tragic, man. Not that anyone's death isn't tragic, but it's definitely tragic. And I feel for him. I know he's hurting. Much love to him and his family. Dennis Smith Jr. as well, ladies and gentlemen. Much love to all of those guys. And I'm keeping them in my prayers, and hopefully you're doing the same. I'm pretty sure you're doing the same. But anyway, Reggie Bullock clearly is not playing and will be out for the foreseeable future. So that's what these starters look like. That's what's projected for the Knicks tomorrow. For the Boston Celtics, you got Kemba Walker at point guard, Jaylen Brown at shooting guard, Jason Tatum at small forward, Gordon Hayward at power forward, and Robert Williams at center. Now, Jaylen Brown did not play against the Milwaukee Bucks just a couple of last night. He did not play against the Milwaukee Bucks due to sickness. I'm expecting him. We should expect him to play against the Knicks tomorrow night. And hopefully I said Jaylen Brown and not Jason Tatum. I meant Jaylen Brown. If I did say Jason Tatum, I meant Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown was out with sickness. And we'll see if he's going to play against the Knicks. If he does not play against the Knicks, then Marcus Smart will likely play in that shooting guard position. That's what happened last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. Marcus Smart started at shooting guard. And there was actually someone else who started at center. But these are the projected starters for tomorrow night against, the Knicks and the Celtics. I look at this, man. Wayne Ellington is not athletic enough to play defense with, stick with Jaylen Brown. if that's who he's going to guard. He's not athletic enough to play defense against Kemba Walker, if that's who he would guard. RJ Barrett could probably play defense on either. I would rather see RJ Barrett on Jaylen Brown than Kemba Walker. Right, so, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't. And again, this Marcus Morris and Julius Randle, man, we got to split it up. We really do. We got to split it up. Let's go on, man. Let's take a look at let's take a look at some numbers. A team comparison. Right now, the Knicks are 1-4, actually, not 1-3. The Boston Celtics are 3-1. The Knicks average 100.6 points per game. Their opponents average 108.8 points per game. The Knicks are shooting 42.3% from the field, 35.2% from three. They average 18.8 assists per game and 18.4 turnovers per game. Obviously, this is a small sample size. Right? It's a small sample size, just 5 games into the season. The Knicks defensive rating is 107.7. That's good for 17th in the league. And of course, the Knicks assist total. The Knicks have the second to last assist to turnover ratio in the league. And that's terrible. That's definitely terrible. Obviously, we don't have, a competent point guard on the offensive side of the ball. Right? So maybe that's something that you would expect. As far as the turnover scenario, though, you see Marcus Morris, you see what he does with the ball. You see Julius Randle, what he does with the ball, him pounding into, pounding into defenses, pounding into 3 and 4 guys, trying to make a play, turning the ball off his foot, doing some other, doing some things that you would not recommend. Now, I will say, last night versus the Orlando Magic, Julius Randle, he recognized the double and triple teams a little bit better. He had 7 assists. He had 3 turnovers. Listen, that's a feat for Julius Randle because he's been getting 5, 6, 7, 8 turnovers. Right? He had 3 turnovers. He got the ball out a little bit better. I still think he takes one too many dribbles when he gets in that paint, in which allows the defense to collapse a little bit harder, and he struggles to get that ball out. If he takes one less dribble, I think, recognizes where the defense is coming from a little bit quicker, and is able to get that quick pass out, you're going to have the defense scrambling. You'll have them scrambling. Hopefully he'll be able to learn that. All right, the Boston Celtics, they average 109.8 points per game. Opponents against the Celtics average 103.3. The Celtics shoot 41.1% from the field. They shoot 35.6% from 3. All right, they average 22 assists. They average 11 turnovers per game. The defensive rating for the Celtics is 100.7. That's good for 9th in the league. Again, that's another good defense that the Knicks are facing. They just faced the number 2 ranked defense in the league, at least at that time with the Orlando Magic. Now they're facing the Boston Celtics, who are also a good defense. All right, let's take a look at some keys to the game. All right, keys to the game for the Knicks versus the Celtics. If the Knicks want to try to come out of this with a victory, there's obviously some keys that the Knicks got to take care of. Number 1, take care of the basketball. That's a big key. And let me tell you why that's a big key to this game, ladies and gentlemen. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier. If you weren't here, you're just getting here. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. So thank you for joining me. All right, if you are on Sportscaster, follow me on Sportscaster. Appreciate you guys for being here on a Thursday night. Right? But we got to take care of the basketball. That is the first key to the game. Because we are averaging 18.8, 18.2, 18.3, whatever it was, turnovers per game. right? That's not 18.4 turnovers per game, right? That's not how you get it done, ladies and gentlemen. 18.4 turnovers per game on only 18.8 assists per game. And then what makes it worse is that the Celtics are the best team in the league right now, even though it's a small sample size, at points off of turnovers. They're the best team in the league at points off turnovers, right? So we've got to take care of the basketball, because if we don't take care of the basketball, then we're going to have the Celtics running up and down the floor scoring, right? Now, they're a team that shoots 41.1% from the field. But if we turn over the ball like we did versus them in the home opener, right? In the home opener, we gave up 26 turnovers. 26 turnovers. We had 17 assists. If we do that again, it's going to be a very similar result. The Boston Celtics built up a 29-point lead in that game. A lot of it had to do with us turning over the basketball. We've got to take care of the basketball. Take care of the basketball. Let's not let them get running. You know, through the first half of the game, in the first game, we played them very well. We had a lead. And we got sloppy. We're going to talk more about why we lost that first game as we continue to look at these keys to the game. The next key to the game, we got to make it tough on Kemba Walker. We're not going to stop Kemba Walker. You know that. I know that, right? We're not going to shut him down, right? But we can make it tough on him. And how do we make it tough on him? I'm going to tell you how you make it tough on him. You sick Frank Ntilikina on him. That's why I don't understand why he's not starting Frank Ntilikina. But if you're going to make it tough on Kemba Walker, sick Frank Ntilikina on him. You know how else you make it tough? Play Alonzo Trier. That's another way to make it tough on Kemba Walker. Why am I saying that? Let's say you play Alonzo Trier in the backcourt while Kemba Walker's in the game, and you play R.J. Barrett or Frank Ntilikina in the backcourt while Kemba Walker's in the game. Who do you think Kemba Walker's going to guard? He's most likely going to guard Alonzo Trier. And then you know what you tell Alonzo Trier to do? You tell Alonzo Trier to go at Kemba Walker. You tell him to go at him. Run him off screens, too. Run Trier off of screens. Or whoever Kemba Walker is guarding, run him off screens. Make Kemba Walker fight through screens. Make him battle on the defensive end. How does that make it tough on Kemba? Well, if you got Trier going at him, he's got to play defense. A little bit tired. You got him running off screens, you're tiring him out. And then you got Frank or you got people playing defense on him, strapping up defensively. And yeah, you're not going to stop him, but you be pesty. You know, you got guys being pesty. You're guarding them 94 feet. You're denying him the ball. You're not just letting him catch the ball on the inbounds. You deny him. Make him work for it. Make him work for everything. You make it tough on him. Let it be a tough night. Make sure he goes home sore. Make sure he goes back into the locker room after the game and soaks in a nice cold tub of ice because he's sore and his body hurts because you ran him through screens. You put him to work. That's what you do against Kemba Walker. That's how you make it tough on him. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think that's how you make it tough on him. Make it tough on him, and then hopefully you get him to shoot a low percentage from the field. Hopefully in the fourth quarter, he doesn't get hot, right? Because you made it tough on him. He's tired. And I know he's in supreme shape. All these guys, not all these guys, but a lot of these guys are in supreme shape. So when you say make him tired, maybe you're not really going to make him tired. They're in supreme shape. That's what these guys are getting paid to do. That's what they do. But make it tough on him. Right? Make that man work. Sick Frank on him, Fizz. Sick him on him. Next. Play Randall and Morris in separate lineups. I think this is a key. The problem is, I know it's not going to happen. It's going to happen a little bit, but from the beginning, it's not going to happen. Morris and Randall obviously are in the starting lineup. We went over the starting lineups, right? They're obviously in the starting lineups. And it's a terrible pairing so far. It's not working. It is not working. Morris is not shooting well or playing well at the beginning of the season. Not the way we've seen him do in preseason, right? He was super hot in preseason, right? He was really hitting. He was super hot in preseason. Obviously, he's not doing that now, right? But they're so similar. It reminds me of when the Knicks got Amari Stoudemire, and they had, when the Knicks got Amari Stoudemire, and then they brought in Carmelo Anthony. And the big question was, how can they coexist? Because they occupy the same spots on the floor. Now, they do things a little bit differently. Marcus Morris, is isolates more, doesn't really catch the ball on the run more. He is a plotting type of player, is Marcus Morris. He's a plotting type of guy. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to take his time. He's got to measure up this defender. Much like Melo. Much like the way Melo used to do. He's a much better defender than Carmelo Anthony, obviously. He's got a much more fiery attitude than Melo. Try to rev up and get the team moving and get the team going and those type of things. Right? But I don't see these guys. They just do not coexist well in this lineup. Kevin Knox, clearly to me, will exist next to Randle much better. He shoots, Kevin Knox is not gonna go one-on-one the way that Morris does. When Kevin Knox does decide, so far this season, when he decides to go one-on-one, he's making his move quickly to the basket. Right? He's not catching the ball and taking a whole bunch of setup dribbles. He's catching the ball and going. Right? Kevin Knox is good at coming off screens. He's good at shooting off screens. It works right now next to Julius Randle, I think. And because Kevin Knox is shooting the ball better than Marcus Morris, he's spreading the floor better so that Julius Randle has some more space while he's going to the basket, while he's in the lane. So I think you got to play Randle and Morris in separate lineups. The question is, and I said it in the stream last night, actually, does David Fizdale have the cojones to sit down Marcus Morris? I don't know, man. I really don't. I'm not sure. Does he have the cojones to sit him down? I certainly hope so. Certainly hope so. Because you're going to have to do it. Ball movement. And let me take that back because I hit it twice. You've seen what my next one is. But ball movement. I'm going to say it again. The beginning of the first 2 quarters of the game versus Orlando, I thought I seen better ball movement. Right? We moved the ball better. We weren't efficient, but we moved the basketball better. Right? Even though I don't like having Wayne Ellington in the starting line with R.J. Barrett, and I'd much rather have Frank Ntilikina up there and let R.J. Barrett do his thing, I did see better ball movement. I thought it was better ball movement. Okay? I think something came out today where the Knicks have a goal of 300 passes in a game. Against Orlando, they had 326 passes. All right? So they eclipsed their goal. They had, 326 passes. They eclipsed their goal. We need ball movement, right? What I'm tired of seeing, though, and Guillermo touched on it a little bit earlier, I'm tired of seeing the side-to-side, east-to-west handoffs without going north to south and getting to the basket. We can't go east and west all the time. We're not getting nothing going east and west. Now, we did a little bit better. I'm going to tell you something that I really thought we did better against the Orlando Magic. I thought we caught Julius Randle. We did a better job of finding Julius Randle on the move so that he can catch the ball, 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, and get to the basket, without just posting him up. Obviously, we still did some post-up moves with him. Right? We did some post-up, and he did a better job kicking it out. There's still some work to be done there. right? Still a lot of work to be done. But I do like that, they were able to find Randall on the move. I think that's one of the keys to keeping those, allowing him to score and keeping those turnovers down. But we need more ball movement. We got to get going towards the basket. The ball moved faster as well, but we can't just keep passing east and west. We got to get going to the basket. I like to see some more pick and roll with Mitch Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Spread the floor out. Let's get Mitch Robinson out there with some guys that can spread the floor. So if you got R.J. Barrett and Mitchell Robinson, let's have Kevin Knox, Wayne Ellington, and maybe Damian Dotson. Or, Frank Ntilikina doesn't really spread the floor, but maybe even Frank Ntilikina, since he does at least have decent form shooting the ball. Right? Or Taj Gibson. Or Bobby Portis, Kevin Knox, Wayne Ellington, Mitchell Robinson. Right? Spread the floor so that maybe we can get Mitchell Robinson on a couple of oops, a couple of runs to the basket. I'll say that again. R.J. Barrett, Wayne Ellington, Kevin Knox, Bobby Portis, Mitchell Robinson. Now you really do. You got guys on the floor that can shoot. Now you really open it up so that Mitchell Robinson can get some oops to the basket. Let's find a way to get him involved in the offense more. Because I'm going to tell you what, a lot of players are leaving Mitchell Robinson, man. And that's where some of the double teams come from. They leave Mitchell Robinson because he's not too much of a threat on the offensive side of the floor. He did hit a little mini jump shot in the last game, but he's not too much of a threat besides, maybe he catches a lob here or there. He gets some offensive rebounds and puts them back and, some loose balls and, some of those type of things. But if you try and find a way to incorporate him into the offense, you can make him more of a threat. Right? I'd like to see that lineup. I'm going to say it one more time. R.J. Barrett, Wayne Ellington, since that's who you're using right now. Kevin Knox, Bobby Portis, Mitchell Robinson. You got shooters that will allow Mitchell Robinson to run to the basket. It'll also allow R.J. Barrett to penetrate to the basket. And then if you want to substitute Wayne Ellington, Alonzo Trier for Wayne Ellington, it'll also open up lanes for Alonzo Trier to get to the basket. Think about it. That's all. Fizz, if you're listening, if you're looking, think about it. Next, no hero ball. If we're fortunate enough and we play well enough to get this game down to, the fourth quarter, well, we're in the game still. We got to stay away from the hero ball. The fourth quarter of that Orlando game, we went 7 minutes without scoring, but we played a lot of hero ball. Even Bobby Portis got screamed at by Fizz for playing hero ball. You know what I'm saying? I want guys to play their game. We don't need heroes. We just need to play basketball and use each other. We have enough players on this team who can be scoring threats that if we use each other without trying to be a hero, we can be effective. And we can be effective down the stretch. Right? We don't need the hero ball, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need it. Big shout out to Sensational Vince. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate you, my brother. Cut out the hero ball, folks. And then rebound the basketball. The Boston Celtics shoot 41.1% from the field. We got to rebound the ball. The Knicks, right now, I believe they're in the top 3 in points, in second chance points. Right? If we're going to be a low percentage shooting team, then we better be able to get offensive rebounds so that we can score on those second chance points. All right, but if we're going to play, when we play teams like the Boston Celtics, who shoot 41.1% from the field right now, we better rebound the basketball. We cannot allow them to get second chance points and score off of second chance points. If we do that, we're going to lose the game. All right, so we've got to rebound that basketball. We've been doing a good job so far this season rebounding the ball. We've got to continue to rebound the basketball. Let's rebound the basketball. Let's get out and try to run. See if we can get some early baskets. See what we can do in transition. We haven't done much in transition. We haven't really gotten early baskets. As a matter of fact, we've been playing a slow basketball game. Right? We've been playing a slow basketball game, and you would think that we have, we got guys that can rebound the ball. Right now, we don't have Alfred Payton and Dennis Smith Jr. on the floor, obviously because of, personal situations with Dennis Smith Jr., hamstring injury with Alfred Payton. So pushing the ball, getting the ball up the floor, trying to get easy baskets may not be in the cards right now because Frank Ntilikina, what happened? He doesn't push the ball like that. RJ Barrett, he's not really the guy that's going to push the ball like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, we've tried it with Julius Randle. Julius Randle kind of slows it up as well. So there's not a lot of pushing from Julius Randle. But look, you don't got to dribble the ball up to push the ball up. You can pass it up. It is possible. As a matter of fact, it is the best way to do it. Pass the ball up. Get the rebound. Let's outlet it. Let's get the ball up. Let's try to beat the defense up the floor. See if we can get some easy buckets. We scored 83 points against the Orlando Magic. We've got to find ways to muster up points because we're not going to win by scoring 83 points. It's not going to happen. Right now, we average 100 points per game. You're not going to win in this league today averaging 100 points per game unless you've got the most stifling defense in the league. If you want to win by averaging 100 points per game, you can only give up 95 points per game. Right? We gave up 109 points per game. That's what we average right now. So we got to find ways to get this offense going, which is the reason why I'm not understanding why Alonzo Trier is not in the game, folks. Why is Trier not playing? I don't know. I'll keep asking this question until I see this kid on the floor. Because he can get buckets. He can score. And when you score 83 points in a game, you need someone who can score the ball for you at an efficient clip. And everything that you want to say about him, maybe dribbling too much, not being able to shoot off the, catch and shoot, whatever. Okay, I get it. Things that he has to work on. I understand it. I believe it too. He's got to work on those things. The more he can catch and shoot, come off screens, do those type of things, the more effective player he's going to be. But at the moment, he's one of the best scorers we have. Especially with no Dennis Smith Jr. out there, who wasn't really scoring anyway. No Dennis Smith Jr., no Alfred Payton to get to the cup. But Alonzo Trier can get to the cup from that guard spot. He can get there. He can get the bump. He can absorb the bump and still score and go to the line. Put that man in the game, Fizz. Come on, man. Come on, Fizz. Stop trying to be fancy with the coaching and overcoaching. Just coach to the talent that you have. You'll be successful, brother. Coach to the talent that you have. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Do with that thumbs up. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. All right. I do a game preview before every game, the day before the game. Usually it's in the morning. Jumped on and did it tonight because I couldn't do it earlier this morning. So I'm glad you guys jumped on with me. All right, so look out for these game previews the day before every game. You can catch it well, not morning, mid-afternoon. You can catch it mid-afternoon about 2 o'clock. Make sure you catch it. Make sure you catch me tomorrow night after the game. The Knicks and the Celtics play at 7:30. I'll be on at 10:30. Make sure you join me at 10:30 on the dot as we break down and analyze the game. We'll listen to interviews. We'll get fan reactions. All right, so subscribe to the channel right now. Hit me with that thumbs up. I appreciate it. All right, and you see on the screen, you see it says Little Rock's Prodigal Son, Bobby Portis. Make sure you check that out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, make sure you check it out. Listen, I got about 5 minutes left. And I want to get to some more guys in the video chat. I want to know what you guys think. How are we going to beat Boston, folks? What are we going to do? How are we going to get this win? Can we get this win? Can we do it? I see K-Sway here. K-Sway, I'm coming towards you, my man. Want to talk to you, K-Sway. Tell me, How can we beat Boston? All right. K-Sway, coming to you right now, bro. What's up with you, brother?
What's up, Sim? How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. How are you?
I'm chilling, man. I'm little down. I was actually at that Magic game yesterday. So yeah, I watched the whole thing. I watched the L that we just took. But to get on the Boston though, it's we gonna have to play defense, man, because we seem to have a lot of problems scoring. You know what I mean? We have a lot of it seems like nobody understands or has an established role. So when you don't have established role, you got a lot of confusion on the offensive side. But and we have to have better rotations. Why is Orlando Cheer? Maybe you can probably put him at the backup one spot if you're gonna pull in Dame Dot. If you know what I mean. Another thing is you have to get Mitchell Robinson more involved, man. There's many times that I see him open and no one's looking at him, or when they give him a pass. He's a 7-footer. You know what I mean? You giving him a bounce pass. I've seen a play, they gave him a bounce pass, you know what I mean? And of course they that was a turnover. You got to give a player like that the ball, you know what I mean, in his chest area or above his shoulders. That's just how that's gonna work, man. I don't understand that. But I mean, the answer to your question is we have to play defense. If we don't play defense, that's it. It's done.
Yeah. Nah, I'm with you, bro. I feel you there. Definitely. We got to play that defense. And I did see someone say in the chat, am I taking calls? Yes, you can call in 516-405-2246. I will take a couple of calls. All right. I'll take a couple of calls. 516-405-2246. Tell me how we beat the Boston Celtics tomorrow night. All right. I don't know, K-Sway, man. It's not going to be easy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be easy. And look, I think we probably expected the Knicks to maybe go 1-5 to begin the season.
True.
I was hoping that we could be at least 2-3.
But you know what?
Or 2-4, or somewhere around there. 3-3. I don't know. But I think we probably listen, we beat the team that we were supposed to beat in Chicago. Every other team that we've played is a potential playoff team. Right. And we can at least look at that, a potential playoff team. I don't know. Did we expect that the Knicks were going to beat these teams, especially this early in the season? I don't know. But the facts are we could have. And if we did some of the right things down the stretch, we would have. So
if you see what's his name, RJ Barrett, he's starting to slow down because the defense are keening on him, because we don't have enough offense coming from anyone else.
Yeah.
So he's going to be an easier target to pay attention to, and that's the reason why I go back into what you said. You got to put Trey on the floor. We need more offense.
Right. Right.
If not, them 20-point games are going to start, bringing it down to 10. He's not going to be able to score as much.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, let me Guillermo, want to find out from you. I'm going to try to get this thing up to 2K, man. We're at 1.8, almost 1.9. We'll see if we can get it up to 2K before I get out of here, but I got to get out of here soon. Guillermo, go ahead, man. Tell me what you think, man. How are we going to beat Boston?
How are we going to beat Boston or if we're going to beat them?
How? How can we? Not if. How can we?
Well, the best way to beat Boston is to play the perimeter fairly deep, right? Like you have to, whatever smaller roles are going to try to do in the perimeter, they just try to do that to essentially a guy's mostly open shot. So I know Randall's not going to do it, but it'd be nice if he actually steps up where, he sees a shooter come. Or you're going to have Frank basically kill Frank and Bernard. Don't let that kid from Purdue, I remember the one with the braids, the light skin dude with the braids. Don't let him get hot because he's in a lot of mid-ranges, all that stuff. Essentially got it. This is a different offense, but why even mention that? Fizzo doesn't know what the hell that is. But essentially have the guys like RJ Barrett and have your bigger guys somehow, their best scorers, into foul trouble.
Yeah, nah, I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, well, look, Nate, I'm going to come to you, man. And then I didn't get a chance to take any phone calls. And, part of it is, like for some people I see it's buffering a little bit. This hotel internet. It's done pretty well tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's done pretty well tonight. I did see someone call in. I think Tony Crow was trying to call in. If you can, Tony Kroos.
I mean, like Guillermo said, man, it's going to start with defense first. I mean, the Knicks have got to lock down. I mean, if you watch the game last year, I mean, last game, Knicks played really good defense on the ball. The problem is they have lapses. They have lapses, and it hurts us. You know, we give up an open three, we give up a layup inside. I mean, but for the most part, we played really good defense against Orlando. So you're gonna have to bring that same defense against the Celtics. Second of all, you cannot have turnovers, a lot of turnovers, because Boston feeds off those turnovers. They love to run when teams turn over the ball. And then third, we're gonna have to limit us have a chance, but I just don't see it happening. I think Boston played the Bucks yesterday, and like I said, man, they really shut down Giannis in the fourth quarter. Really hope it's not a blowout, but hopefully the Knicks are at least close.
Drop a video or post in my community section. If you're on Sportscaster, make sure you follow me. Do me a favor. Share this out. Share it right now. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to share it to. It doesn't matter to me. Share it so other people can see it. You see the Little Rock's Prodigal Son, make sure that you go ahead and check that video out. It's a mini documentary on Bobby Portis. You will enjoy it. All right, you can go right to my channel, youtube.com/nothing-but-Knicks, and check that out. All right, tomorrow night, 10:30, I will be on live tomorrow night at 10:30 as we do a post-game analysis and interviews. All right, and we're gonna have a good time, man. So I appreciate you guys for being here. And as I said, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. You'll be notified anytime I go live, drop a video, or post in my community section. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. I got some work to do. I'll be looking forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow night we can get back up to 1900. We can bring it to 2K tomorrow night. That'll be the goal. We try to get this thing up to 2K tomorrow night, all right? I'll be back in the studio tomorrow. I'll catch y'all. Have a good Friday, y'all. Peace.